Hey everyone, how's it going? Good evening, one, all, everybody. I hope you're having a good night tonight. I got to tell you what, I'm just the reason. Oh wow, this sounds really rocky tonight, doesn't it? Oh my God. Okay, let's check our settings here because this is not what it normally sounds like. Hey, there we go. That's better. Okay. Sorry about that, everybody. Uh, hey, it's TJ here. Welcome to Amigos After Dark. I mean, obviously, we've got no intro music or anything tonight, and there's a reason that I'm kind of doing it this way. How's it going, Volkster? I hope you're enjoying the Dust Bowl down there in St. Louis and watching the races. But here's kind of what's going on. Today has been one of them just absolute kick in the teeth days, even for a day off. It's been a real shock, guys. So Rhino was up with the baby at 5:30 this morning. I have been up since like 5 this morning working on different stuff that I've had to get done, up to and including fighting the VA to get everything in line for part of my financial aid for starting back in school. Uh, well, I figured you'd be watching it at least. Um, I uh, I know Steve he's on hiatus for a little while because he's trying to spend some time with his girlfriend. Rhino is wore out. Smalls is now working 2 jobs. Adam's still on extended vacation, well, extended leave, taking care of family stuff. And it really is. It's kind of down to me to holding it together. And I didn't want you guys to think I forgot about you. And I didn't want you to think that I'm forgetting about the podcast at all, because it's not the case. It's how's it going, Mark? It's more along the lines of there has been so much going on in the last couple of weeks. My uncle went in for typical heart cath angio, real simple stuff. That turned into a 3-day deal, 2 stents, and I get him back a couple of days later, and I get to bring him home. And I've been trying to stay on top of that. Of course, I have work. Work has been extremely busy. You know, you got to stay on top of that as well. Getting registered for school, getting through all the VA stuff, getting through all the financial aid stuff, getting through I've got all of that. I've got the lawyer that I'm working with right now that is involving helping my son get what he wants and get him moved down here to Texas with me. And, you know, I'm going in about 10 different directions at once right now. And unfortunately, when that happens, things that I really enjoy doing, hobbies of mine, this show being one, they end up, they wind up getting they wind up suffering a little bit. And when they end up suffering, and the ones who pay the price, unfortunately, are you guys, and I don't want that to happen. And I'm trying not to allow that to happen. I'm trying to make sure that you guys know, hey, this show, everything going on, it's still important to me. There's still a lot about it that I really love to do. And if we end up doing some more of these like half hour, just kind of update what's going on in life, abbreviated shows, please understand that it's not you guys. It's what's going on in the world right now. Um, especially as Royal tell all you guys, anyone who's not a veteran, anybody that has never had to deal with these oh so wonderfully intelligent government trained people at the VA of all places. Yeah, Roy will be one to tell you, yeah, that's a real treat. I called for help the other day about the problem I was having, and the guy that answered the phone, I mean, I'm sorry, the guy that I ended up talking to turned out to be a 100% complete jackass. I mean, this guy was a jackass. I've dealt with some people that were asses and, But that guy was a jackass. Uh, you know, I ended up calling again today over the same problem. And there's a lady that wound up on the phone and we got to talking and she made things actually make sense. And I understood what was going on a little better and why now I have to jump through the hoops that I should not have to do because the VA's automated system decided to take a shit and now I got to figure it out. Lovely for the VA, right? But it is what it is, you know. And we end up looking up and pushing through and doing what we got to do. Hey, Carlos, how's it going? Ah, but yeah, it's nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault, but just circumstance. When you wind up into the circumstances that I'm in right now, you know, it is what it is. There's nobody's fault. Nobody could do anything about it. But we've got 3 years of work into now this program in particular. And I appreciate where Mark's coming from here, where he says, hey, everything has a season and if family and personal stuff come up, so be it. Take a holiday break and do what you have to do. And I certainly appreciate where Mark's coming from. And I haven't figured out like Christmas and New Year yet. We will probably do a show New Year's Eve. Christmas Day, to pretty much be blunt about it, over the Christmas holiday, that sounds like it's going to be about my only day off. Just my regular days off is what I'm going to get. So, with that being said, I mean, Christmas, I'm probably not going to do a podcast on Christmas. I will cover my shift on Southern Fried Radio, kind of like I did for Thanksgiving. And that's just because I do feel that responsibility to, continue, Um, New Year's, I've got to talk with everybody and figure out what the plan is because that tends to be a big broadcast day for me. That's one I really enjoy. Um, I'll be getting off of work New Year's Eve, so I hate driving on amateur night. That's one of my big ones. So getting home on New Year's Eve, maybe taking a cocktail out of the fridge, sitting down at everything here and lighting everything up and doing a show, that may be the way to go. And then give us the break on New Year Day. And, I'll again cover my regular shift on Southern Fried. These are all things that are up in the air and that I need to talk to everybody about and see where everybody's at with it. Of course, we know that Steve, he will probably be on Morning Disaster for that, and that's great. I have no problem with that. I never would have a problem with that. Hi Nick and Christian, how's it going? Uh, I'm sorry that you guys are kind of catching me on an off day. Again, it is. It's just an off day for me. I got up like I was still getting up to go do PT, and you ain't getting me to run around the block anymore. Forget that crap. But I've been on the go, and if I haven't been on the go, I've been handling and doing paperwork literally all day. So it's been not so much a physically exhausting day, but it's definitely been a mentally exhausting day. And those are the days that just they cash you out, and they cash you out faster than a 12-pack of beer. I mean, just no way around it. So, um, again, I hope that as we start to trudge through the holidays and we start to see how things are going to unfold, and I'm getting certain personal stuff taken care of, get my square body Chevy home, get it running, and doing what it's supposed to do so I could start using it. And just various different little things that have got to be done. Yeah, and they've got to be done. Mark, maybe. I mean, I've got to do that Christmas party tomorrow. Maybe Saturday is the day that I get up and I just basically trudge around here and I don't do shit. I mean that could be the case. Maybe sit down at the computer for a bit, see what Phil's doing when he's doing his cast on Southern Fried. Maybe I go to just sit down at the TV. Sundays are generally days where I'm like, just leave me alone. I like to do the show in the afternoon, and otherwise that day is pretty much a leave me alone day. Catch a new episode of Landman because I'm addicted to that show. I'm not gonna deny. I like the show. I think it's mainly I like it because I could see that lady lawyer on that show winding up with Steve and just kicking the living shit out of Steve. I could really see it, And Steve's already said, "I don't want her. She's a bitch." Yes, she is a severe bitch. But I could still see her just kicking the living shit out of Steve. As far as college football goes for me at this point, my team's out unless somebody screws up their conference game and they screw it up bad, and then Texas will have a chance of getting in. But currently, my team's out. About the only ones I'd really be interested in at this point are Texas Tech and see what they're going to do. I think Tech's going to just smoke the Big 12. Everything I've seen out of them this year has been insane. But with Texas out, I'm like, yeah, well, you kind of killed my college football season right there. And we are getting into playoffs. And now, it's boiling down on NFL side as well. I mean, biggest rivalry, oldest storied rivalry in the NFL playing on the 7th at Lambeau, Green Bay and Chicago. Holy crap. And what's even funnier is all the trash talking has already started. It's already started. Yeah, I mean, I would not be opposed to seeing Notre Dame try to win one this week. And Ohio State and Indiana, that's definitely an up in the air one as well. But it's whoever. I think the ones that the one I'm looking at really close is Oklahoma, Alabama for their title game. For the SEC title. Now, if Alabama pulls an upset, holy shit. Oh, I don't disagree. I mean, they're right here. I mean, Corey's saying, bullshit that Notre Dame's ahead of Miami, and I can't agree. I cannot disagree. Is it Georgia and Alabama this week? Yeah, it is. It's Georgia and Alabama. And if Georgia wins that one, as much as I don't want them to fucking win. Georgia wins that one. That knocks Alabama out, and Texas may have a shot at that point. Yeah, it's time for the SEC championship. But I mean, you got Oklahoma that they've got to lose. Or one of them's got to lose. I don't remember. There's a few that have to lose. Your five championships, your five champions are locked in for playoffs. And then you've got 7 at-large teams that get into the playoffs as well. And the one game that is screwing up Texas is Florida. That game against Florida where we pretty much we dropped the ball. That's what happened. The team dropped the ball. And we got our asses stomped by a team that never should have even thought about it. That should have been a dog walk. But we've got Vanderbilt, Oklahoma. We've got a lot of games that we've won that were, and A&M. I mean, big pressure games. A&M, Oklahoma, Vanderbilt, big ones. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Duke's got 5 losses and they still made the playoffs. Texas has 3. One was a really just a bad game on Texas's part. We dropped the fucking ball. And here we are. We're out, but Duke's got 5 losses and they're in. Somebody explain that to me. I think we've got a championship team. I just don't, in all honesty, I don't think it's this year. Yes, they did. They did. Baylor and BYU and Vanderbilt have done an amazing job turning their programs around. Part of it was, I think, part of it with Texas this year was, yeah, if they win ACC, they're in. But part of it with Texas this year was getting the team into a rhythm with Manning as the new quarterback and trying to get that team to work around him. And if you watch that Ohio game, they weren't in a groove yet. Now we've got some scouting going on. Looks like they've got some top contenders ready to come up. Really getting ready to back the team up in Texas. And I look to see a different orange and white next year. I look to see a different Longhorns team out there, something a lot better, playing more of what we expect, more of what we want to see. Yeah, well, I mean, we had Ohio State right out of the gate, and that just killed us. And Mark said here, one thing I'm not a fan of is all these damn Pac-12 teams moving over to the Big Ten. We'll just move them out, and we'll just call them the Pac-4. Well, I mean, you've got a couple of at-large, different, uh, you know, different conferences that are just like 1 or 2 teams. Your big football conferences, the Big 10, the Big 12, the SEC, the ACC. And I think I think it might be Pac-12 is the other one. But yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at what A&M had this year. They had the honeypot. They had what I call the Indianapolis Colts schedule of the SEC. They really had the honeypot schedule. Easy game, easy game, easy game, easy game, easy game, easy game. And then the one game they had that they're playing a team that could be a contender, which was Texas, we walked them. Yeah. Yeah, Mark's right. Pac-12 only has 2 teams. Okay. And there's like an at-large conference or something too. But it's hard to keep track of all of them anymore. Is it the WAC, the WAC that is the other one? Let me start looking up conferences here. All right, you got the SEC, the SBC East, the SBC West. Pac-12 is, yeah, it's only 2. Got the Midwest. You got the MAC, which got quite a few teams in it. Independents, which are Notre Dame and UConn. Conference USA. Damn, there's quite a few in there. The B1G, which is what it. Oh, no, I take that. That's the Big Ten. Okay. So now I was looking at something here. So that's Big Ten. Big 12, which, I mean, Texas Tech is dominating the Big 12 right now. ACC, and, of course, the AAC. Now, we've got a big conference rivalry happening in the AAC this week as well, and that is if I don't watch that game, it is an important one to me. And that's the Army-Navy game. You know, me being Army, I try to catch that every year. And my brother's Navy, so we've got a little bit of back and forth about it. But the Army-Navy game, it does take a little bit of a priority, and I do try to catch that every year. But it's not one of those, it's like a make or break for me. I have to watch that game. Honestly, if I don't watch that game, I actually feel a little more comfortable about it because it seems like it's bad luck. The Army-Navy game should be in Philly this year. That would be cool. That would be really cool. I know Steve's not really rooting for Philly anymore. He's trying to pick a new team. Bandwagon fan. Which I cannot wait to give him a lot more crap about, just being that bandwagon fan. Like, Grizzly on Southern Fried, he went up to, or he went down to Indianapolis and he watched the Colts-Texans game. And I'm very happy to say that my Texans won. And like Grizzly was really gracious about it today. It was not what I expected. I fully expected him to try to say, no, we lost. And that the Colts won, which he knew he wasn't going to get away with. But he was really gracious and kind of laid back about it and completely not what I expected. And I appreciate that. That made a little easier for me to talk to him. And the other thing is I actually respect where he's at because he's not dumping his team when they lose. He's sticking with them. Steve, on the other hand, watched the Eagles lose to the Cowboys and the Bears and then said, I'm done. A younger one, yes, he does. But, yeah, Steve, he watched a Bears loss and he watched a Cowboys loss and he goes, yep, fuck the Eagles. I need a new team. Really? Look at Rhino. I mean, Rhino hit the Chiefs this year compared to previous years, recent years. They are doing horrible. And yet he sticks with them. It's he's a Chiefs fan, died hard through and through. Hey, good for him. I mean, that kind of loyalty, you don't see that kind of loyalty anymore. Holy shit. Lions 20, Cowboys 9 at the half. Ouch. Well, we knew that wasn't going to be an easy one for the Cowboys, but that's starting to look like a blowout. Holy crap. Where are they playing at, Mark? Are they in Detroit or are they in Dallas? Since before before Mahomes joined. Yeah, you're right. Kansas City hasn't had a season like this since before Mahomes. Oh, they're in Detroit. That's part of it right there. Of course, everybody's good to see Ridge back in the chat room on Southern Fried. Everybody's giving him plenty of shit, though, which I guess now I need to do it too. I want to know how many midgets Ridge has got on his lap. There we go. Yeah, everybody playing around with him. I don't think he knows which way is up right now. And he's watching midget porn on YouTube. How does that work? Anyway, all right. So that's basically the long and the short, everybody. Like I said, I wanted to log in, give you a quick update, let you know what's going on. We are going to be back. I plan on having a full crew together, or at least most of it, on Sunday, 4 p.m. Central, like always. Get back into the saddle again and get back into the groove of things for a couple of weeks before we move our way into another holiday schedule and figuring it out through the holidays. So everyone, thanks for tuning in and catching the update. I hope it was enough to kind of get everybody on the same page and everybody understanding what's happening. I will see you Dallas and Detroit have been kind of a tradition, Mark, so that's kind of the hard one to give up. I think it would be smart to have Dallas and Detroit play each other at least every other Thanksgiving and maybe open up a game for another team. But yeah, the tradition has always been Dallas and Detroit. And I'm a traditionalist. I don't like giving up tradition. So I really think, I think they're going to stay, but I think we need to figure out another way to maybe open it up for another team. So anyway, that'll be maybe I'll turn that into a topic of discussion on Sunday night's pod, and we'll see where we go with it. So Mark, remind me of that on Sunday at 4. Otherwise, everybody, thanks for tuning in. This has been Amigos After Dark. I hope you've had a great holiday for Thanksgiving. I hope you guys are gearing up for Christmas. Okay, everybody, please, with the weather that we've had, with everybody dealing with snow and ice and everything else that's hitting them, please be safe out there. Make your way to and from work, to and home, and everything else as safe as you can. Be careful. And I will see all of you Thursday night, 4 p.m. Central, right here for Mayhem's Amigos. Good night, everybody.